at the market's performance this week, what's your perspective of the markets in Ghana right now? Because year to date, we've got the composite index having lost roughly 1%, while the financial index has gained close enough to 1.5%. So there's quite a discrepancy when it comes to activity, it seems.
Well, essentially, I think, as always, we're expecting the financial index to do better than all the other companies. We have seen the banks doing well previously, and we forecast that they are going to continue to do well. The insurance companies, there's a lot of interest in it as well. More so because as oil has become a factor in Ghana now, and you expect that financial performance of financial companies would be positively correlated with how the economy grows as well.
Of course, we are sitting on the threshold of the beginning or the deadline for first quarter results, that coming through at the end of April being reported. And, the assumption is that we're not going to see any of this growth reflected in these first quarter numbers. So hopefully the market not setting up great expectations just yet.
Well, I think in terms of expectations, analysts are really poised to see what the first quarter would bring. Essentially, the forecast for Ghana's economic growth this year is around 12.3%. And I think if we get very good first quarter results, it will calm nerves down and everyone would believe that the 12.3 can happen. If that happens, then you'd expect that more investors will start pouring money into Ghana. The volumes of the stock exchange would increase significantly, and we expect investors to be more excited about the Ghanaian market.
Let's get stock specific. Fan Milk seeing quite a bit of activity this week. Results were great out of that company, so one would assume hardly surprising, because we had profit rising 27% for the 2010 full year, while revenue was up 26%.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Fan Milk has been a star performer in Ghana over the years. Almost every year in the past, for the past 10 years, it would have been one of the top 3 companies. Essentially, what happened with Fan Milk last year too was the fact that they did a bonus that made more shares, released more shares into the system, and ever since then it has become even more. It has become a favorite of investors. I expect Fan Milk to do well, especially because their first quarter results are usually one of their best quarters. So I think a lot of investors are waiting keenly to see what Fan Milk will bring through as their first quarter.
Of course, we know that Fan Milk is adding more distribution centres and may build a new plant as well in 2014 as it seeks to increase sales in the country. What are you making of those expansion plans right now?
Well, those expansion plans, to be fair, has been on the table for some time. Sometimes we get the impression that it's going to come up on board and then the company holds back. I think the company is prepared. They have a lot of cash on their books to be able to pursue these expansion plans. However, I think the major factor would be by how much the economy is growing for them to bring these plans into fruition. I hope it comes aboard this year. It would strengthen the company's revenue stream significantly.
Looking at it, the company has said that it's not planning to borrow money from banks because lending rates are topping 20% over in Ghana right now. So enough then on the balance sheet or in the company's war chest to actually fund this expansion. Are there any concerns on that front?
Well, I think Fan Milk, because I said the plans had been on the table for some time now, and I think Fan Milk, the management has been prudent enough to build enough cash on their balance sheet to do these plans. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no borrowing at all once these plans are going to, once these expansion plans come into fruition. I think they are very much able to fund this expansion or this project or from their cash reserves.
Winston, in this context, we've got the company saying that it expects those sales growth to slow this year after raising prices by 25% in January. To what extent is there some caution about when it comes to Fan Milk?
Well, these price increases have not been the first time prices have increased, but then we see that there's even a bigger push on the numbers from Fan Milk. I think the first quarter will settle this matter once and for all. January, they raised the prices on an average by 25%. If the numbers from the first quarter come out and they are decent, I think then it will just cement the the story for Fan Milk.
Taking a look at the counter, 2 cedis 35. Would you be a buyer at these levels?
Definitely.